Good morning. It's morning time, as you can see by the fact that usually you can see the time on the device that I shall not speak its name. And also, I have my pajamas on. The first thing we're going to do to start this episode is make coffee. I didn't really think about this. I want a hot coffee. It's cold out. It's like a beautiful spring, rainy, cozy day, you know? Like the kind of day where you just want to like sit and curl up and watch The Lord of the Rings, right, Aaron? You want to watch the next Lord of the Rings movie with me? Sound excited? Yeah. I made I bought, I should say, emergency, calls it. You know what I'm talking about? Nespresso pods. Because this is hard to do in the morning time. What am I trying to say? I got I got Nespresso pods for making hot coffee because for a while we had warm weather and I wanted iced coffee. For me, coffee is a weather dependent beverage. So if it's like below 50 degrees, it's hot coffee. If it's above 50 degrees, 50 to 60, it's a toss up. But if it's above 60 degrees, it's iced coffee, right? I've just never been the all year round hot coffee or iced coffee girly. I actually don't know anyone who's an all year round hot coffee person. Anyways, so I bought some Nespresso pods just in case there was another cold spell. That's called looking out for your future self, mama. Okay, while that runs, you may be like, what, Clarissa, what are we doing here? Clark, what's going on? We're calling today the Fridge Forage, okay? And we're doing breakfast, all right? I love making breakfast. I don't really eat breakfast all the time, though. So I'm going to show you what I like to make for breakfast. We're going to see what we can find in the fridge to make like really delicious, cool breakfast sandwiches specifically. Side quest. This is the coffee syrup that I make. I switch it up, but I tend to like flavors that are more not fruit forward in coffee. I do sometimes, it depends, but I tend to stick to like vanilla, caramel, brown sugar, that genre. So this is my homemade. I don't know if you can see it. Here, let me see. There's a vanilla bean in there. There's like little vanilla bean flecks all over the bottle. Yeah. This one is brown sugar, honey, vanilla. It's very good. I like to taste my coffee, but I also so I usually buy really dark coffee, but I also love a flavored coffee. I like to think that I like a good balance of sweetness and coffeeness. Boop. Okay. Now we can live our life a little bit more. Okay. So, like I said, I love making unique breakfast food, right? Because I think I find most breakfast food, one, to be incredibly sweet. I am not a sweet breakfast person. I don't really love to start my day with like sugar or a lot of like heavy food. So pancakes and waffles and crepes and pastries just like they just don't do it for me in the morning time. I feel like you got to fuel your body in the morning. So I tend to be someone who leans more into savory breakfast, but I mean, I lean in more into savory food regardless. I tend to feel like I make really cool breakfast sandwiches just like based off of whatever we have in the fridge, right? I don't specifically buy things for breakfast. I usually just kind of go off the cuff, but I do keep some things on deck to be prepared, if you know what I mean. But there are things that I think we can get multi uses out of, like for lunch and dinner as well. So I'm going to show you what we got this morning. what we can whip together some really delicious, yummy breakfast sandwiches. I thought that'd be fun. A little inspiration. And maybe you can mix it up on a weekend when you got some more time. Maybe you got some extra time on a day off. You just want to try it. Okay? A lot of these are super easy to whip together. Most of my breakfast sandwiches, the most time consuming thing is the eggs. I will say, we do have sourdough bread that I did make. That was very time consuming that I'm definitely going to use in one of these breakfast sandwiches. You know you can buy pre-made. This was time consuming. I haven't made bread in a while, and this is my sourdough starter, Becca. She was giving me a run for my money, okay? She was being fussy. She was being rude, and I don't know what she was thinking, but she almost died on me, and I brought her back to life. She made 2 gorgeous loaves of bread the other day. Okay, she's fine. She's living La Vida Loca. And now we have gorgeous truffle cheese sourdough bread. Yes. Let's just make breakfast, okay? Every time I want to show you my fridge, I feel like we are connecting on a deeper level. We obviously are, you and I. But this is my fridge. She's got a lot going on, okay? She's stocked, okay? Shouts out to me. Some people are not so lucky. We are going to pull out everything that we think that I know for sure we're going to use, okay? These are like things that I always got going on in a breakfast sandwich. Some type of sliced cheese. I also happen to have the chemical cheese, but it's great for breakfast sandwiches. You can't lie. Eggs. This is a yes. Everything else is kind of optional. Okay, maybe. You know we have to start with at least the base eggs, right? That's the simplest thing. But hold on. We have a lot of like roughage options. Okay? I really love like arugula on a breakfast sandwich just hits. Okay? That's something I lean towards a lot. And I do have it. I do have it, okay? I also sometimes use tortillas. Don't be sleeping on tortillas in the morning, okay? A breakfast burrito, a breakfast quesadilla, a breakfast taco, they all can hit so hard, alright? And we have a lot of options to make some goods with that as well. Like canned things, pre-made things, mixed with fresh stuff, that's where it's at. Am I the only one who actually pulls the shelves forward in the fridge so that way I can reach stuff? I feel like more of us should be doing that. We'll get the rest out later. This is a good start. Enough of that. Also have an avocado. We'll see how she is. And then let's break out this bread. Mama, you want to see this bread? Oh, she's gorge. Are you ready? Oh, look at her. This is like the little nubbin because we've been eating a lot of it. This is the good side. Anytime I make cheese bread, there's always like a pocket of the bread that all the cheese collects in. That's her over here. But she's so delicious. She even smells like truffles. There's like, I'm going to show this to you like real up close. In the bread, it's hard to see, but there's like little flecks of black truffle in it. You can see a couple on the back too. They're not mold, I swear. They're truffle. Because I put truffle cheese in it. So here's what I believe every breakfast sandwich needs. Needs some type of carb, right? Bread, tortilla, white bread, bagel, English muffin, all great contenders, okay? Then you need some type of protein layer, right? Whether you just do egg, whether you do egg and cheese, whether you do meat, egg, and cheese. For a sandwich option, we are going to do vegan sausage because I love the vegan sausages I have. I don't have any on hand, but I have this brand of vegan bacon that I also really love. I'll put that on breakfast sandwiches too. But you can use regular meat, whatever floats your boat, or you can just do egg and cheese, or you can do no egg and just like a meat substitute if you're vegan. I don't really make a lot of vegan food, I'm not gonna lie with you. Anyways, so you have your carb, now you have your protein layers, and then you need some type of roughage, okay? You need either like an avocado, you need some arugula, maybe you need some tomato and onion on there, like a BLT moment almost. And then you need some type of like either sauce, something to wet it down, right? Because nothing will ruin a breakfast sandwich like a dry ass breakfast sandwich. Like, imagine just eating like an overcooked egg on a bagel, right? The Sahara Desert's going on up in here, and no one wants that. That's just like not it at all, okay? So, you need some type of sauce, topping, what have you. I really love sometimes to put cream cheese on egg and cheese bagels. That can hit so hard when it gets all warm and melty. Salsa, if you like that, hot sauce, mayonnaise, mustard. Don't be afraid to add sauce or other things to your breakfast sandwiches or to your breakfast because it adds layers and it can add instant flavor because you don't usually want to break out a bunch of seasonings in the morning, okay? At this point, I've been awake for approximately an hour. We don't have the brain space to do any of that, right? We're just rolling with it. It's pouring rain outside. Wow. Okay. You ready to come over to the stove? Come on, pal. Before we head over to the stove, I am going to slice up some of the bread. This is the bread knife I use. When I got into sourdough, I started seeing a lot of people using knives like these with these big serrated edges. And let me tell you, it is a game changer in how you will cut your bread. As you can see, I'm still not great at cutting it very straight. So what I'm going to do is just trim it down a little bit so that way I can get a nice clean piece for the breakfast sandwich. See, she's a little off. That's some snacking bread for later. That's much better. Okay? Perfect. I'm gonna get 2 slices of bread. I'm getting thin on the back. There we go. And then I will toast those up in the air fryer. I don't have a toaster, but these also fit better in the air fryer than the toaster. You could also toast them in a pan on the oven, but whatever you need to do to get them nice and crispy. I'm going to get the oven turned on, heated up. We're going to start with cooking the eggs for the bread because I'm also going to show you how I cook eggs in a tortilla. If you can learn this, it's so helpful. And it's just like, I don't know, like you can put the egg on, or you can put the tortilla on top and then everything is kind of like in the same pan. It's easy peasy. That's what we like here. I feel like the internet is divided on whether you need room temperature butter or not. I've met so many people who did not grow up with like some type of butter on the counter. What? How? In my house, we had like a butter dish. My mom had a false craft matching set of dishes and kitchenware and things, and we had the matching butter dish. And then when I left home, immediately in my college apartment, Maryland, I had a butter dish. Then I got older and part of my Amish roots came out and I got a butter bell. Okay? Now I have a butter bell, but it's dirty. Well, emptied it last night. And so now it needs to be refilled with room temp butter. So we will be using cold butter. But I don't get why do y'all not want spreadable butter? It's not going to go bad unless you never use it. Something to think about. This butter's going to look weird because it is cold. That's why it's in this like log form. And of course, you know, when I make breakfast, I use the most professional culinary skills of spreading around the butter in the pan with the knife. You don't do that too? Weird. Egg. Boom. Look at her. She's gorgeous. I love eggs with like really deep orange yolks. And then I always stab this. Yeah, so it does that. So it flattens it out a little bit. So that way when we flip it, we're not going to have such a dramatic moment. I also start with my pan on like a higher heat, and then I slowly bring it down. So now I've turned it down to like a medium low, because one thing about me, I hate the little like crispy edges on eggs. For the longest time in my life, I didn't even eat eggs because of this. They gotta be cooked right for me. It's a texture thing. I am a texture girly. They gotta be the right texture. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. Sometimes I totally flop at it. I've grown enough in my life that now I can just pound my way through it and still eat the delicious food. Remember when I said earlier we're not really gonna season this? We're not, but I always salt and pep my eggs. I think it's just the bare minimum you can do in your life. Pepper cannons are really sensitive when you just need like the teeniest, tiniest bit on your spatula. Okay. Oh, she's got like a bubble moment going on. Pop off. You ready to see some real skill here? You ready for this? I'm gonna flip it. And it's gonna be like really close to the camera. Okay, ready?
Wow!
Oh shoot. No. Don't look at that. Yeah. That's fine. She's not perfect, but she's worth it. And then I'm gonna take some of my yellow American cheese. This is just, or white American cheese, the real cheese. We're gonna do real cheese on this because we're putting it on the cheese bread. And I'm just gonna keep letting this cook a little bit. We have a little bit of yolk spillage, but this is actually kind of nice that it ended up long like this because I want this to go onto the bread nicely, and we'll kind of fill in the extra space with roughage. You'll see. But I'm not going to let the yolk cook the whole way through. We like a nice kind of soft cooked, little bit runny maybe, like a soft boiled egg texture giving thing. Yeah. These are also the sausages I like to use. I'm going to go ahead and just put 2 of these in the air fryer. Get them all cooked up, you know. When I ate meat, I grew up with like the Jimmy Dean sausage that looks like ground beef in the packet. I really love that too. That would hit on this sandwich too. And then you could like form it into the size sausage patty you want, and it would take equally as much time. Pick your poison, people. A good way that I gauge this is by looking at this yolk. I think she's done, okay? We have our toasted bread. I'm just going to I'm going to put her on this side because you'll notice this one has a bigger hole. So we're going to put it over here so we can keep her together more. You see how that like almost perfectly fits to the edges? That was unplanned, but I'm just that talented. I'm just going to scrape this little yucky out, and then we're going to start on our breakfast wrap. So I'm going to pop in a little bit more butter. I know there's still some yuckies. These are cheese yuckies. I can get those too. Get her round town. We need the pan much more well coated for this. This time we're going in 2 eggs. Oh boy, we're feeling rich. Okay? Oh, see that one? She's not as dork. We still love her, but she's not quite as dork. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to just gently poke through these so they'll lay a little bit flat. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to end up doing with the tortilla. Now you'll see that we're starting to get kind of set, right? Just these bigger parts here aren't done yet. This is when you want to break out the tortilla, right? And if you want, like if you have a smaller tortilla, you can kind of fold parts of the egg in. I'm not really that worried about it. Just making sure it's a little loosey-goosey. And then I'm just going to plop this mama right on top, okay? We're basically going to let it cook onto the tortilla. I love doing this. Once I start to feel the tortilla kind of getting a little soft, I'm just kind of going to reach under here, see if I can get it loose and move it around. Now this time we're going big flip, okay? Yeah. Not perfect, but who is? Okay? Now we have tortilla. Get out from there. Come on. With mostly cooked egg. Because it's still on the heat, the only thing that I'm going to add right now is the cheese. And I am going to do chemically cheese because it just melts so good. I'm just doing one, kind of spreading it out. I'm just going to let this melt a little bit and crisp up the tortilla a little bit, and then we'll take it off the heat. I know it doesn't look like anything has happened, but trust me, things have happened. We're going to get her off the heat, and then I'm going to show you how we'll finish this up. We have bread. You see, we have bread, egg, tortilla, egg, and cheese. This is the sausage. I'm putting this one over here. We got 2 little sausages, okay? Now, for our first one, ready for this? That was so graceful. For this one's going to be a little bit easier because we're basically doing a little avocado. I like to put that on there to add a little bit of creaminess. Are y'all ready for the reveal? Another avocado reveal. Are you ready? Take your bets now. 1, 2. Ah. She's not the best, but she's not the worst. Look how tiny. She's a tiny little baby avocado. Okay, we'll put that over to the side with this. For this one, what I really only want to add on is some dressed. Okay, so what we're going to do for this one, because it already has, it's really rich at this point, right? It is basically cheese, bread, meat, egg. It's like really dense. So basically all we want to add to this is something to kind of lighten it a little bit. So I'm going to take some arugula, which has like that nice peppery note. And then I'm just going to lightly dress this. So I'm going to take a little bit of lemon juice. And then the only other thing I'm going to do with this, so we're just going to toss that in this bowl. But then on the bread, I'm going to put a little bit of stone ground mustard. You could do Dijon if you don't want the texture. I want the texture for this. And I want that little bit of acidity to kind of cut through. And I'm just doing a light coating. I just want to make sure there's just a hint of it on all specks of the bread. Right? And then we'll just put this You know there's going to be too much and she's going to fall off. That's fine. Okay? Okay. Last thing we have to do. Okay. You ready for this cross section? Oh, she's gorgeous. Looks so good. Okay. Sandwich number 1 is done. Our little wrap here, we kept it like this because you'll be able to fold it in half and kind of close it up. Almost think of it like a quesadilla or like a giant, really giant taco. I'm going to keep it easy. Just going to squeeze out. Not that way. Just kind of zhuzh her around a little bit. And then I personally, for things like this, like a little bit more of a runny salsa. If you want the texture of a chunky one, go for it. I like when it's sort of smooth like that. And then I want to get my texture from something else. So, oh, she is moldy. We're not using that. I guess it's been a while since we popped open the cowboy caviar. Don't worry. No beans needed. I have a can of corn. I use this for mostly ramen, actually. We'll just pop some of that on there for a little bit of texture. Sometimes I have cans of beans open too. I could just add that on top. And then, if you'd like, you could dip this in some sour cream. I do have plain Greek yogurt that I could use, but I'm just not in that vibe this morning. I'm gonna top this with some fresh green onions as well. Now we are going to fold her up. Give her a little cross section. You ready for the second one? This one has a much runnier center. Do you see that? She's good. Oh, she's running. Okay. We gotta eat. Let's go. We brought our famous taste tester. Ta-da! We eat these, not exactly like these, but I feel like I make breakfast sandwiches a lot. So this isn't really anything
out of the ordinary,
revolutionary to you. I do want your thoughts on that one, though.
I'm gonna try this one first, though.
Really? He doesn't really like avocado. Two red flags Aaron has. He only likes avocado in certain situations, and he only likes tomatoes in certain situations. But if you're a complete hater of both, I have some questions for you.
That's good. I like it.
I wish
the avocado is not too much. I think that's what it is. I think avocado for me, it's like the fatty texture of it.
Okay.
Like the creaminess is a little bit much for me.
We're big texture people. Do you see that? Why not start your day like this?
That's good too. Like I've said before, the vegan sausage or vegetarian sausage, I don't know which one it is.
It's vegan.
It's good.
It's made of soy.
Yeah.
This one, the egg is kind of more done. It's like a little too cooked. I usually like it a little bit more runny.
It still tastes good. Yeah. I like the mustard on the top too.
Mm-hmm. You really need it.
It cuts through. It's nice.
The bread is really good.
Oh yeah.
But it does add this like...
There's like a smokiness from the... What?
Smokiness?
What was the cheese that you put in?
It's truffle cheese.
Oh, the earthiness then. Oh, the truffle cheese.
He's like, I don't know. I'm just saying words. Cooking show. Cooking words. But I just think if you had normal sourdough, you might not need to cut through it as much.
Mm-hmm.
But the bread, because the bread adds this like extra cheese, that's kind of why we needed it. That's a lot of layers of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And just from stuff we had. Right? a fridge forage turned into yummy breakfast.
Which is interesting because, like we've said, you're not a big breakfast person
I'm
either.
not, yeah, but I will go for these breakfast Sammies always, or a McGriddle, but only the ones I make. Thank y'all for joining us for another week at the table. I hope you give these a go. Make some yummy breakfast sandwiches, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.